I want to take a look at one of our latest projects, our newest product over at the Gear website store, and the newest book in our 2A library. It's Volume 1 of U.S. Firearms Museums. This is a concept to bring our firearms museums into people's awareness, onto people's radar, so hopefully they'll visit them, and into people's conversations. So it's a 30-page book. It's about cargo pocket size. On the front cover, we've got the passport art that we came up with, and on the back cover, we've got a map of the states with a passport stamp for each of the firearms museums that we visited on our gun show loophole tour over the years, and then a little line showing you where they are in the country. There's about 30 of them, almost 30 of them listed there, and it might seem like a lot, but that's only about half of the firearms museums in the country. So this is Volume 1. We'll follow up with some of the museums that we haven't visited. Hopefully by then we'll have visited them. So as you open up the book, the back of the front cover is a description of the project and our tour and what we're hoping to do with the book. And then the second page here is a table of contents, and you can see it's one museum per page with a couple of exceptions. And since we visited just about all of these museums personally, we want to offer information about the photography conditions as well as the accessibility conditions. So on each of the pages you'll find information if you're using some kind of walker or having walking issues, if you got a chair, and not just necessarily if there's like an uneven floor or if there's ramps or stuff like that, but in addition, from a perspective of a gun owner, like for example the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame, it's an old building, so it's got some pretty bad tile floors, but there's so many good guns in there that it's worth getting past that. So we try to get that across with that descriptions. But otherwise, it's one page per museum. You get information about the museum, when they were built. They're in chronological order, so as you go through the book, that's the order that they were built. The number of firearms they've got, a description of our experiences at the museum, their contact information, and again, information about the photography and accessibility conditions. And then we've drawn a cartoon for each of the museums. Now, there are a couple of exceptions. One is that we've got the non-public reference collections included, and we did that because we also have this list of all the firearms museums again, but this time in order of the number of firearms they have. So you can see, for example, how big Dragon Man's private collection is, his personal museum is, compared to the other firearms museums that we've got out there. But also so you can see how big those reference collections are, the ATF and the FBI have, for example, that are ours. We just can't see them. But anyway, we have a one page per museum. As we dig through to the back, there are also the Army museums listed, as well as the Air Force museums. And although I haven't visited all of those, we listed them here. Ran out of pages though, so couldn't include Navy, but we are going to have a Volume 2, so we'll include the Navy museums and the various submarines and things like that, as well as this list of firearms museums. Like I say, there's a whole bunch of them that we didn't include. This is just the ones that we visited. But the idea here is to get people jived up on getting out and visiting these museums, and so that you can keep track of which ones you visited. We're going to include this little mini passport. In fact, I'll include as many of these as you need, unless reasonably, every time you buy one of the books, so that you can keep track of which museums you visited. So the little tiny passport book here is another version of the book with a little table of contents, and it's got the museums listed, little cartoons, and then a little checkbox so you can keep track of which museums you visited. And like I say, if you need a couple of those, let us know. This is a project that allows us to, or when you purchase this project at our Gear website store, it allows us to work on other projects. We were able to work on this project because of our Patreon. So these are the people that made it possible for us to create this project, and we want to thank them. And we want to thank you for watching. If there's any questions, of course, let us know in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching.